Hello, sisters and cousins. I am Esme Streichelt, and I'm running a little experiment today. Over on the website is a post called Resilience Kit for Teen Girls. And it is exactly what it says. It is a collection of resources. It is evergreen and anti-bullshit. And I want all of the young women in our lives to have access to it and to branch off from there. This is not an exhaustive collection. It's focused on our girls. Our world is eating our children for profit, and we have to protect them somehow. Protect is the wrong word. Outfit them, right? Start here. Give yourself and the girls you know some inner wisdom and the moxie to refuse to comply. Resources are coming soon for boys who might rebel against the toxic elements of neo-patriarchal masculinity. So what follows here are a bunch of recommendations. In the general area of personal resilience that is solution focused, I recommend the book Reviving Ophelia by Mary Pfeiffer. This book is from the 1990s, but since structures have only intensified, it's still vital, and it's tender and funny, and there's an anniversary edition that Mary Pfeiffer co-authored with her daughter. These are all linked in the post. The post will be linked in the show notes. The website is medusarising.org. The post is called Resilience Kit for Girls. Next recommendation, Our Bodies Ourselves. Everything most education and medicine will not tell you about your creature self. This is a classic. It has been updated. It is a really great book to have on your shelf to help you get through life alive. My own piece, Esme's review of In a Human Voice by Carol Gilligan, focuses on how patriarchy shatters relationship and the parts of ourselves we need to protect from patriarchy in order to live whole, to actually make connection, and how to resist that shattering inside of ourselves. Companion piece to that, I've linked here an interview with Carol Gilligan. It's the best 30 minutes really of any day, who is the grandmother of relation psychology, the author of In a Human Voice, linked just above in the post. She figured out how girls who are big personalities are made small to be accepted, and how boys who are whole and real are made hard and empty, and how to shift that in our own lives, even if we are 90 years old. Clarissa Pinkola Estes is one of the great mythographers, a psychologist, the author of the classic Women Who Run with the Wolves. All of her books are about different aspects and archetypes of womanhood, of being a girl, a woman, an elder. And her podcasts are fantastic. The book is still super duper relevant because that's the nature of myth. Myth stays relevant. There's a video pod linked here of a reader giving all the chapters of Women Who Run with the Wolves. My dad gave me this book for my 16th birthday, and it saved my sanity. You can also find it on Sounds True, which has audiobooks, also linked here. For women of every age, but especially for girls in their teens, the Tiffany Aching series by Terry Pratchett is a terrific Bildungsroman for a girl to woman story. Instead of a boy to man story, it's a girl to woman story in which our girl does not have to shrink to become a grown woman. It's a favorite of mine. She is a witch, wee Tiffany Aching, and savior of the world and of witchcraft, actually. There's a podcaster, Therese is her name. Teresa, she is sharp on everything fuckery in the current moment. Please go visit her on YouTube. The Substack linked here goes really deep and subtle on socialization in people and how deeply some instinctive behaviors can become. That Substack is called That Substack is called Scrolling. Sorry, bad me for not putting the title here. It's by Alexandra Winterhaven, who is a they. But her article is entitled Where Decentering Men Actually Begins on Attention, Desire, and the Gap Between Language and Lived Practice. And it's really good for thinking about our inner mind. What is our inner orientation? Some deadpan funny feminists are also linked here. Takes on cultural trends that will make you feel less insane. The burned haystack dating method, also linked here. Red and green flags on the dating scene, especially on dating apps. Like how to just suss out the sort of obvious not good fits, right? Obvious red flags, how to not waste your time. The motto is the question, how do you find a needle in a haystack? And the answer is you burn the haystack down. Rights for Girls is a community and support organization. It's aimed a little bit younger, like these are tweens mostly, but it's led by a woman psychologist. It is focused on young girls supporting each other and coming into coaching with each other. So super duper great. I would add here the organization Democracy. I just recorded a podcast with the founder, Sarah Jekyll, and that program is fantastic. It does everything a radical feminist wants a program to do. It gets women involved in civic culture and governance. It elevates young women from under-resourced communities. Girls get a stipend to attend so that they are not losing money on any time that they might need to be working, as the focus really is on underserved communities. And something like 60% of the girls who matriculate through the program, excuse me, I don't need to yawn, I'm not breathing. Something like 60% of the girls who matriculate through the program go on to go into public policy or running for office or into direct politics, which is fantastic because life experience is how we represent, and representation matters, especially now. Again, democracy.org, just really cool, really cool. Can't wait to share that podcast with you. On pornography, which is a major, major, major feature in the lives of teen girls, much to my chagrin. It's one of the biggest makers, I think, of the generation gap. Most parents my age and even younger did not grow up in a world as saturated with pornography as our children are coming up in. And there's a terrific conversation over at Culture Reframed linked here, explains a whole lot. Collective Shout is another excellent resource on pornography in our cultures, and ditto for Fight the New Drug, which is a very action-oriented group. They're just all pretty fantastic. Young women may want a coach. You may want just a life coach. Maybe you don't need therapy. Maybe you just need someone to think with and to explore with, who is safe and who is vested in your best interests. We work with a woman, Jacqueline Lene. She's linked here in the source. She runs our Soulcraft sessions, both like a weekly discussion of office hours, but also a monthly get together of women in our Discord server, exploring how to get out of our own way, right? How to connect with ourselves more deeply, and in that connection then step further into our power and the world. This is a good thing for teenage girls to have, I believe. She's just one of many examples, but she's the one I know best and therefore can responsibly recommend. There's some online feminist Reddits, because Reddit can be kind of a dumpster fire. They are women-only communities or women-mostly communities, and while none of them are focused on teens, they are all intergenerational, and I have never seen which is not that I've been everywhere, but I've never seen a young woman condescended to in conversations on these websites. One is called vexed.org, vexxed.org. Another is radish, radddish.world, .ish. Anyway, and clovenhooves.org. They're all organized in threads, themed discussions, and you can vote up and vote down and talk to each other about very specific current events, very broad themes, whatever you need to go looking for. They can be terrific resources. Some great Substacks. These are sort of linked by their article more than their title. One article on anti-cosmetic surgery isn't so much like bad you for wanting cosmetic surgery in your teen years, more like lots of gentleness and understanding and real clarity about the ridiculous pressures on young women to begin modifying themselves already, even when they're kind of at their most sparkly, which is amazing, right? Let's just inculcate total insecurity as early as possible. It's not that you shouldn't get surgery, but it's that you probably don't need it. You may not need it. And this essay offers you a little space to step back and think about that. On selling trauma, there's a great article about how social media promotes mental illness, how insecurity is pressed into our girls by advertising and influencers. But I repeat myself there, advertising and influencers are the same thing. And that insecurity isn't natural. Feeling a little weird about yourself because everything about you is changing. That's totally natural. But this sort of capitalist friendly, there's a solution to that. We can sell you this supplement, these clothes, the Spanx, the surgery, this highlighter, this, whatever. Makeup is fun, but you do not have to rearrange what you are and who you are to be alive and to be beloved. Discovering yourself is a weird process, but it doesn't have to hurt the way that influencers, advertising, and social media, but I repeat myself, make it hurt. They make it hurt so that you will buy their shit. Jessica Valenti, who runs the Abortion Every Day Substack, is on top of everything about sexual health and reproductive health and politics around them. Invaluable. She is a fucking heroine for doing the work that she is doing. I don't know how she stares into that particular abyss as deeply as she does, but she does it every day. And we are all in very much trouble there, are we not? There's a note on another Substack from Medusa Rising. In fact, if a girl follows any of the stacks that Medusa Rising follows, you will have good company. Check out our recommendations on the Substacks. There's two favorite pods that I really adore. They are kind of by the same people. I'm not going to recommend every excellent feminist podcast. There are so many. We live in an age of an absolute flourishing of feminist media and news, and it's just the best. Like, it doesn't matter where you go really all that much, but these two podcasts do two things I love. One, Subject to Power interviews like core essential feminists, elders, contemporaries, but women whose ideas or frameworks you just really, really need to have in your mind in order to confront the world. The other one is more sort of one-on-one conversations that are organized by topics, by sort of issues that women face or elements of life or problems that women and girls experience, always very deeply researched. That podcast is called Chat in the Commons. They are both projects of El Caminara, and Chat in the Commons is also a conversation with her friend and partner in crime whose name is escaping me, as names tend to do. Very generally, Liberating Motherhood Substack. I mean, It's just amazing. The article I have linked here is about red flags in men's behavior, among other aspects of adulthood, why men kind of hide their evil until they feel ready to reveal themselves. Culture Reframed, mentioned it before, great on sex, porn, and body image. The article I link here, lots of education on how not to get sucked into playing to fantasies that boys don't just have on their own naturally. These are fantasies that they are being taught to have. These are sexual scripts that they are being taught to follow. You need to be armed. Jess Britvich has terrific breakdowns on modern manifestations of patriarchal structure and behaviors. She talks about these things in quite some nuance and detail while putting on her makeup, which can be kind of standard for the Instagram and TikTok genre. But while she's putting on her makeup, she is tearing shit down. It's pretty excellent analysis there. Red Light Expose is a terrific podcast made by women who have survived and exited or are exiting the sex industry. They are terrific on talking about pornography, about prostitution, about sex trafficking, about the abuses of the rape industries. And since the porn is reaching the teen boys and reaching the teen girls, then they are old enough to think critically about it. So I would recommend this podcast. Some of this material gets very mature, especially with work focused on trafficking survivors. But our kids are facing all of this really grown-up stuff, and we, I believe, are obliged to equip them to face all of this really grown-up stuff with really grown-up tools. On another general point, Total Woman Victory is a blog. It is a magazine. It is a project of international and socialist scope. And the Discord server that they have established is just full of brave and warm and smart young women. I think most of the people in their community are maybe 30 and under, really. I mean, it's a very young group and very, very active. You would find a lot of really good community there. You can also find some really great community in the Medusa Rising server, but you got to join Medusa Rising to get in, because we are not open to all. Total Women Victory, on the other hand, is just, I love that Discord. I love hanging out in there with those women. The book Before War by Ailish Deva consolidates and fills in some history. It solidifies a lot of deep history about civilizations that came before what we call civilization. That is, all of the civilizations before patriarchy. Humans have, and therefore can, once again, live in other ways. And I think the book is a pretty responsible representation of the research in the field to date. But the sources that she refers to and has in her bibliography in that book open up an entire field of research and understanding, and I think pride and grounding for young women. Also, in terms of Deep Time, the Suppressed Histories archives, these videos are on YouTube. This is Max Dashu's project. She has courses, free videos, paid videos, a couple of books you should probably hang out in for big, broad swaths of history and experience of women. But really deep grounding is here. Women have long, long, long histories everywhere on Earth. Most of the stuff that we call civilization, women and matriarchal cultures invented, and men just kind of stole it when they decided to take over. For men and boys, there's a whole, big yawn. Still not breathing today. I need to stop talking, y'all, and go outside. Um, for men and boys, I've got a similar post coming soon to the website and Substack. But quickly, if you know some young men who could use some guidance, the National Organization for Men Against Sexism, or nomos.org, really doing a hero's work there, trying to open space for boys to grow into the men they're supposed to be rather than the neo-patriarchs that the social medias are trying to turn them into. There's also the Good Men Project. It's a little older organization than Nomos, on a similar vein. It's men exploring how not to suck, how not to be jerks. And then there's a really great Substack I've linked here entitled Men, Are You Really a Feminist? Here's How to Tell. And that one is just really about what you do. What do young men or grown men do in their lives, in their relationships, their work relationships, their home relationships with women, that make them not a total parasite, but make them actual contributors to the space, the process, the project of being in a family and in a relationship. It's really, really good advice. So that's it. This is me. I'm Esme Streicholz. That is a little resource kit for girls. If you come visit the Substack or the website, which will be linked below in the show notes, you'll be able to find this post and outfit your kids and the young people in your lives, your students even, a little more robustly for this absolute shit show of a death cult of a world that we are living in. In the meantime, as I say, stay rad, stay witchy, be good to each other, be very good to each other, and I will see you next time. Okay. Good luck out there.